What's going on, everyone? Back here again with another video. This one's going to be a roundup of what happened last weekend between Arsenal and Chelsea, and sort of have a little quick few points about the West Ham game coming up this Saturday. So still without a computer, so you're seeing this live, doing it old school. Got some notes here since I can't really pause and cut and everything. But anyway, get into the game, which unfortunately Arsenal lost against Chelsea 3-2 at the weekend. Some say we probably deserved more. I'd probably agree, although I would definitely say that Chelsea were the better team overall. There were some moments where it looked like Arsenal were dominating possession, had control of the game, but probably overall I'd say Chelsea maybe deserved to win. Now, having said that, Arsenal did have some clear-cut chances that they really threw away. For example, Aubameyang, Iwobi and Mkhitaryan, all missing tap-ins, so to speak, especially Aubameyang and probably Mkhitaryan, blasting it over the top of the goal. You could say Iwobi's one was a bit more difficult to take, and at least he scored a goal. But anyway, you know, if they'd taken those chances, it's the same story with Arsenal. They don't take their chances. The opposition get one or two chances, then they capitalise on that and walk away with the 3 points. So it was a similar story again. If Arsenal had done that, they probably could have been like, what, 5-2 up, 4-2 up, like, you know, at the end of the day. But it is what it is. Like we've all said and expected, this is a transitional season for Arsenal. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way I thought. I was hoping for at least a draw. We came close to that. It was only right towards the end. Marcos Alonso got the third goal and gave Chelsea the 3 points. Otherwise, we would have walked away with a draw at least. Like I said, I would hope that we can pick up our first 3 points, the first win for Unai Emery against West Ham this coming Saturday. But let's talk about the Chelsea game. So it's clear to see that Unai Emery likes to adopt a defensive high line. One could argue, do Arsenal have the players best suited for this tactic? Quite a few times our defence was caught out by the pace that Chelsea had up front. Morata had a good day in the sense that, like, you know, he twisted and turned Squadron Mustafi to get the goal. That was a good goal for him. I'll give him all credit there. But yeah, like a lot of the time, Arsenal were just caught on the back foot with the high defensive line. They couldn't keep up with the pace of Chelsea. So maybe we'd like to think that Unai Emery's assessing this and he will sort of like pick defenders that can play to that tactic. Not so long ago, I watched the words that Gary Neville had about Arsenal, saying that the players have to adapt to the manager's tactics rather than the manager adapting to the players. I agree with this point because at the end of the day, as the head coach, he's going to have the final say on the way the team plays and everything like that. And, you know, if the manager has to give in to the players, you could have all kinds of uproar. Like, for example, with Chelsea, we've seen them when the players aren't happy with the manager, they do you can argue they do what they can to get rid of them until they get a new coach in, and then, you know, happiness stems from there. So I've covered that. Does this mean that once Emery assesses what each player can do on the pitch in competitive games, will players be out the door? With that being said, it's only 2 games in, but I'm struggling to see why Xhaka was given a new deal. Is he still being played as a defensive midfielder? I don't think he's best suited to that position. He's a bit more of an attacking, creative person. And playing him in defensive midfield, it just doesn't make sense to me. That's what Arsene Wenger was doing, at least. And you've got this brand new out-and-out defensive midfielder in Lucas Torreira. He seems like the aggressive person that we need in that defensive midfield role, someone who's going to take the game by the scruff of the neck, go in for those tackles and then get the ball out. Assessments say that he doesn't like to hold up the ball. As soon as he gets it, he looks to try and get it forward and, like, you know, help the team progress. Surely that's what we need. In my opinion, I think Torreira should definitely start the game against West Ham. I was surprised he didn't start against Chelsea, considering it was a big rivalry game. And, like, you know, for the second game, we could have gone 2 games without any points, and that's what's happened. I would definitely play Torreira, especially if it's sort of like an assessment part of the whole process. He's got the players, change them up, rotate them, see which players play best to his tactics. And on that note, I would also play Bernd Leno. I know Petr Cech has had 2 good performances. He's made some great saves, apart from the odd cock-up with, possibly scoring an own goal for Manchester City the other week. But I think I was on about playing Bernd Leno. Yeah, I would give him a go, even though Petr Cech did, had some very good performances. Give him a go, see if he performs better at playing out from the back, as Arsenal seem to be doing now. That's like a tactic Emery is trying to embed into the team. So if he can play better, it sucks for Petr Cech, even though he's been performing really well. If Leno can also play to that standard, plus play great from the back, then maybe he should get the nod ahead of Petr Cech. Give it a go right now. We can't do any worse than having another loss, so just see what works best. Something I did want to mention was Guendouzi's passion. There was at one point, I can't remember what the play was, but he did get the ball forward, picked out a good pass. He played a great game again for such a young kid, and Arsenal squandered the chance. And you could see on Match of the Day, they highlighted how passionate he was and infuriated that Arsenal didn't make the most of that opportunity. He was on the floor, like smacking the floor. And that's good to see for such a young player to come into the team like this. He doesn't seem afraid or anything like that. He seems to be showing that edge that, we so desperately need to try and get a win, improve. And to be honest, I'm happy for him to keep starting. So far, I don't think he's really put a foot wrong. He did sort of almost make a cock-up against Aguero for Manchester City, but luckily he was saved by Petr Cech. Other than that, he's like placed, let's say, for example, pick a number out of the air, 95% of his passes, he's done really well, and I would keep him in the team for this, for the foreseeable future, at least, anyway, at the moment. So, yeah, going on to the next point, I'm glad, even though Arsenal went 2-0 down against Chelsea, I'm glad they levelled. When Chelsea went 2-0 up, it looked like, for example, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was really distraught because he just missed that chance to get Arsenal back into the game by blazing over the top of the goal. Yeah, he seemed really distraught. So I'm glad that they levelled 2-2, even though they did go on to lose 3-2, unfortunately. The fact that they could come back shows like they can, if they work harder and harder, they can, fight back, show that fighting spirit, and hopefully sooner rather than later start winning games and, get back up there where us Arsenal fans think we truly belong, at least in the top 4. Let's go on from there. So that was good to see that they could come back from that. So anyway, that's probably my points on the game, about the game on Sunday. It's a bit late, so I'm not going to go into any more detail. Coming up this Saturday, Arsenal against West Ham. Jack Wilshere's apparently saying he has a point to prove against Arsenal. Now, this is going to be something embarrassing if he does put in a great performance against us and twists our players up. I still think we should have kept Jack Wilshere. Then again, Unai Emery said he didn't fit into his plans, so his decision. Let's see what happens with everything. I wish Jack all the best, but when players go away and sort of say they have a grudge or a vendetta against Arsenal, maybe so. It just upsets me to see that, although I do wish Jack all the best. If it comes back to bite us in the arse, I'd say that's down to the people who were doing contracts and everything. The same goes for Aaron Ramsey on that point. He's now got 11 or so months left in his contract. Apparently, the rumours the other day were that Napoli were in the market to snap him up. The transfer window for everyone closes in a few days, in about a week or so, just over a week. What's going on? Are we going to sell Ramsey? Are we going to sign him to a new deal? Otherwise, it's like someone he's not had the best playing career up till now. He had that horrific injury against Stoke some years ago. He could have been, I'd say Ramsey is, a good player for any team. He's probably in the prime years of his career now. Unfortunately, he probably could have been better than he actually is right now. I would strongly argue that. And I think we could easily, for British players, all the crazy prices they go around, we could easily pick up 35 million, maybe in the last year of his contract, maybe 30 or so at least. and we're potentially going to let that walk away for free. You know, if you got to think, it sucks to think about individuals. This is football, but individuals in terms of money. But that's it. It's all part of the game or the business now. You know, you could argue that football is a business rather than a game these days. And you got to think like that, especially with Stan Kroenke's not going to inject any money into the club. Where the fuck's the money going to come from? So, you know, I'm quite infuriated. If he's not going to sign, just fucking let us know and sell him for the money now. Like I said, it's sad we have to think like that, but that's it. So anyway, guys, that's my thoughts about the Arsenal and Chelsea game this past weekend. Thoughts coming up on the Arsenal-West Ham game this coming Saturday. Like I said, I am going to that game, so if you watch my videos, feel free to, if you do see me, say hello, whatever. And let's hopefully hope for an Arsenal win this weekend. Put the first 3 points in the table. Sitting at 17 doesn't look good. It's only going to be 3 games in. It could be worse. But, you know, who wants to be sat there? So anyway, come on the Arsenal, get the 3 points this Saturday, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.